And I want to talk a little bit about the economic conditions that all companies are dealing with right now. Obviously, it's a really tough market right now. Tech companies we're seeing do major layoffs across the board, and Cisco has not been immune from the strains of this economy and this environment and what it's had to do as a result. But how that's done obviously needs to be taken into account, and there it seems like there are some companies that are doing a little bit better in how they're doing layoffs and how they're making sure that employees don't feel unvalued if that has to be done, or that there's not some kind of sort of disengagement that happens afterwards for the people who stay. I'm curious, what is the right way to handle layoffs or situations like this when they do come up, as we're probably going to see a little bit more in the next few weeks?
Yeah, it's been interesting over the last year or so watching how different organizations are navigating this. And those on the call that work in the talent and the people space know that it's probably the least favorite thing that anyone does. No one comes into this work to facilitate that or for that to be part of their role. But I think when you're at the point where you have to, the how is really everything. And it starts with transparency. How you talk to your employees about what's actually happening. I think sometimes as organizations, our desire to protect people limits us from being as transparent as we should be about the why. So I think starting with being very transparent with your employees about the why, I think there's an element of how do you help them navigate that change? Because when businesses make decisions like that, it's never personal, but it's always personal to the person. And so how you help them navigate that piece. And one of the things that we've done historically at Cisco is to lean deeply into two things. Number one is our internal mobility and placement system. And when we experienced this in the fall, about a quarter of the people that were impacted, we actually found jobs for. And so we took our entire hiring organization and refocused it on that because oftentimes they're great skills. They're just in areas of the business that aren't growing as much as others. And so I think transparency, I think not underestimating the fact that skills are a little bit fungible. So that number I just gave you, part of the reason we were able to do that is if you look at skills through the lens of people are not one dimensional. We all evolve what it is that we know and can do other things. And if we understand what the adjacent skills are, it's easier to locate other roles. And then the last thing I would say is I think it's really important to understand what role your ecosystem of partners can play in helping you do this. And we had a really strong partner that actually helped us with resume writing, career coaching, interview skills training, connection with other jobs, and ended up with a pretty high external placement rate. I think it was right around 91% of those that opted in actually were able to locate an external job within 4 weeks. And so it's not pretending like these things don't happen, but I think really leaning into being transparent with your employees, having a process that really supports them throughout this, and understanding that there is an impact that goes beyond just the business impact that we may feel on the HR side of it.